two, three, four, one, two, ready.
Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. I'm your host, Tony Brown, and we have a powerful program tonight. We're going to start off with a rapper. He is the president of Park Rose Black Student Union. Powerful young man, very talented. Not only does he sing, but his grades is just off the chart, as they say. And he's also a mechanic, so he has a lot of talents, but he's going to share one of his special raps with us. Let's go, Monty.
If my hands up, that don't mean shoot. I ain't lying to you, I'm just telling y'all the truth. We the same type of people, cause I got family too. I tell my little sis, call me if she have a problem, dude. Cause I can be gone quick, then who is she gonna talk to? But this is my point of view, cause I can't be like Mike Brown, getting gunned down, getting handcuffed while I'm on the ground. Now I said it at the beginning, now I'ma say it at the end too. Y'all say Black Lives Matter, I say Black Lives Matter too.
Monty, I'm gonna go over and talk to Monty just a few minutes. Monty, that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
How did you put that together?
I don't know, I just put it together quick. First it was just a freestyle.
Yeah.
I was just in the shower just freestyling, and then it just came together.
But it sounded like it came from something that hard, though. Huh?
Yeah.
Kind of share a little bit about what that was all about. Because you talk about somebody, if you went to them and you was gone, kind of touch on that a little bit, what that means.
It means a lot because my sister, my little sister, she been with me my whole life. And I seen, like, my friend, he lost his sister, and I seen what he went through, and then it touched me.
Yeah. As a young man today, what just happened in Florida, and we certainly want to give our condolences to all the families out there in Florida and the young people that's dealing with just watching their classmates get shot. As a young person in school right now, talk to us. How are you feeling every day when you go to school?
I feel scared because you don't know who it would happen to or who would do it. It's crazy on how it happened.
Yeah. Now, if there was something you could say out to the adults, to the politicians, to the community about helping change it, what would you say to them?
We got to make our schools better by either putting more security in it or...
It's tough, huh?
Yeah.
It's tough, yes. Would you come back and do another rap for us? Now, you got a CD or something coming out too, right?
Yeah.
It's on, what's the name of it?
Our new song is gonna be called Feel It in the Air, and it's a remix.
Right. Now, can you do a few little bars later on for us? Is that possible? Well, you just think about it, okay?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Monty.
There's a kind of freedom in being devoid of meaning. It's like my hair doesn't mean anything here other than this is the way it grew out of my head.
I remember my first trip here. I fell madly in love with the city. I had a passion. I don't think I've ever had a passion for another city like this one. It was immediate.
This is something that hits an American right away. I mean, a black American, certainly. You just walk anywhere, or in most places in this town, yeah, look at the people you see sitting in cafes together. Europeans with Asians, Asians with Africans, Africans with Europeans. You see black and white couples all the time. Nobody bats an eye. And I just think there's this relaxation about ethnicity and color and race that doesn't exist anywhere in the States.
And I came here, but I wanted only one thing. I wanted to write. And I wanted time to write. Now, if you're a stranger, you got time. And I could write without feeling and thinking certain undesirable things, which always come in my mind in the United States.
What are those things?
Well, the idea that people, white people, I know what they feel. I know that. You can read it in the newspapers. You can take it from your personal experience. I know what they're thinking, and I don't want to be around them. If they feel that way, I don't want to be around them. I feel somewhat like Thoreau, Henry David Thoreau. You keep your spirit clean so that your experience can flow through your spirit without obstacles. He didn't say it that way, but I know that's what he meant. Keep your spirit clean so that it doesn't have any impediments that will keep you from understanding what your environment is telling you. For a writer, you need an unimpeded spirit in order for you to get wholly and truly what your environment is telling you, and you must answer it truthfully. And your spiritual channels must be unimpeded if you're going to do that. I can't do that back in the United States. Here I can.
I'm an African American woman who's a scientist from Houston, Texas. All of this I've begun to learn since I moved here. The arts are all around you. People are always reading. People are always going to exhibits. This is part of their daily life. I hardly ever went to museums when I lived in the United States. Hardly ever. And I didn't care, you know.
Absolutely. We have a special guest in the house. This week at the Hollywood Theater, I believe it is, they're having a Black Film Festival. Yeah, and we're honored to have this gentleman, Mr. Elijah Hassan, in. And I just want to read a little bit about what they say about you. I know you're a humble person, but I want to drop this on everybody. He's a photographer, a filmmaker, educator. Elijah Hassan has emerged as one of the region's most daring and innovating artists. Ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Hassan. How you doing, sir?
Not bad. All praise to the one, man.
I had you put on a different hat right now. I appreciate it.
Literally, right.
But you just had a screening at Hollywood.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that and how you put that together.
I have a few pieces and works that I've been working on, and a couple projects I've been working on, some longer than others, but really the main piece was a collaboration between me and a friend of mine who's passed, who traveled to Paris, France in 2002 and interviewed African-American expatriates from the United States living there, writers and artists. And the interviews were very profound as I was going through and editing them. And it's been years in the making, and he passed away. And finally, this was the first premiere of that film. So that was really, for me, the big thing about this screening. I mean, there were some other pieces there as well.
Yes.
Another premiere with the art project that I created that brings in law enforcement to work with young people as artists.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because that was a pretty powerful piece that you put together. And where did that come from? What motivated you to put something like that together?
The project is called What Connects Us.
Yes.
And what motivated me to put it together was seeing and feeling African Americans, Latino, and other people of color just being gunned down, and in some cases straight up murdered. And as I moved from my emotional state or reaction and took a broader look at it, I saw a disconnect.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And in my own personal experience, being a Portland native, I know that most of the police officers that I see in the neighborhoods don't live in the neighborhoods, and they're coming in from some other part of town, and they're rolling with their windows rolled up, and when they get out, it's not a meet and greet, it's more of a confrontation. So that whole situation it leads to something that's probably going to be confrontational and not good. You know,
Exactly.
let's not get into any of the other the system of white supremacy and how that plays into that system as well. But just with the fact that there's a disconnect between the community and the police. So I was just dealing with that as let's say a scientist, and what I was really wanting to do or trying to do is create experiences that would affect future behavior.
Okay.
And that's simply put.
Now, what was the not the feedback, but yeah. What kind of feedback did you get with bringing police officers with young people that never have met the police, have a different perspective about police? How did that merge? How did that happen? What happened? How did it go?
Well, the outcome was beautiful. It exceeded what I had envisioned, and the turnaround was quicker. We already had seen results out in the field outside of the project, but in the early stages of it, it was well received. You know, I sat down with teachers at HB Lee and school resource officers, and from there, from our initial meetings and me explaining what the project would entail, the school resource officers went and reached back to their chiefs.
Yes.
And
Okay.
from there, once the chief, in this instance, Gresham Police Chief Robin Sells,
Miss who?
Chief Sells.
Chief Sales, we appreciate you. We
Yeah,
really
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Absolutely.
oh, for
Absolutely.
sure,
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
she
Yes.
really she really, and she says this in her interview when I interviewed her in the documentary about the project, that she really didn't know what it was going to be about, but as she got into it toward the second day, she was really intrigued by it. The depth of the questions and the interactions with the young people, and really getting to see where their heads were. So it impressed upon her. I think it impressed upon the rest of the officers and the young people as well. They were surprised. They really didn't know what they were in for.
Absolutely,
Like
yeah.
one of the young brothers said, we just thought we were going to talk to some cops. But it was much more.
right.
It was much more. And a lot of people don't understand. And there are really a lot of people, especially, some in the black community and some within the political establishment of the police, they're not trying to, they don't understand, or they have some other agendas that they're trying to serve.
Right.
But I don't have the time and the energy to deal with that. I mean, if you support it, great. If not, fine. I'll keep it moving.
Right.
But this was my contribution as an artist to this problem, short of armed rebellion, because I don't really know what our choices are, and I'm not going to just lay down and be killed. Right. I'm not going to do that, and I don't want to kill anybody. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. So I'm really trying to be creative and effective as I guess as a social engineer, to engineer and design the future that I want to see through experiences.
So this is your way, just fighting the feeling.
This is
so
my
to speak.
contribution.
Yes, your contribution,
to an issue to help the future generations of my community, and as well as police as well.
Exactly, because it's a strong piece. I mean, whenever time you can bring two different individuals that really don't know each other, and bring them into a room where they just start working together. If you could share one of the most memorable moments of this project for you, if you can, if there's just one, I'm probably few,
the one I'd like to share is the second year I did it at HB Lee. One of the officers who returned told a story about an experience, a call he had. I think it was TriMet. Was a disturbance, and he got there and arrived to the scene. And he described, he said, when the police arrive, usually it seems like maybe we're not there for them, talking about the public. But in this case, he arrived, and one of the girls that was in the family that was involved in the disturbance at TriMet was a girl that he had interviewed with the year before, and she sought him out and said, "Hey, you're Officer Sweezen, aren't you? And hey, we interviewed last year." And he immediately remembered her, and it helped him, these are his words, work it out and smooth it out, and also it helped create a relationship between him and her family. And he says later, after the call, he just realized this could have went a totally different way if they didn't have that connection from last year. So that was my intention. That was the behavior or the connection that I was trying to create to affect these outcomes. And that was evidence that it had impacted it. And that was probably the biggest
was powerful
impact
for
for
you.
me really quickly, though.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
within a year, we were seeing it. So I'm very appreciative. I'm thankful. I thank the creator for the creative flow. I thank the creator for the courage to do things that some people, especially in my own community, that I value, may not agree with or may not understand. But as an artist, we have to go with our heart.
Absolutely. And we certainly appreciate what you did. I know that I want to ask you this, because I want to have you come back and do a song for us because you're an artist too. But where was this program filmed at? This program?
It was filmed at H.B. Lee Middle School, which is in Gresham, but also Open School North, which is in North Portland, just off of Lombard.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was two, and that actually had Portland Police as well. And it was just a great experience. I've had all the experiences have been positive ones, and that is, that's the feedback we're getting from the young people involved,
Absolutely.
the teachers involved, administrators, and the police officers as well.
Well, we certainly want to say thank you to the high schools.
Sure.
Both high schools.
High school and middle school.
And middle schools.
No, I'm sorry.
Go
Both
ahead.
middle schools.
The middle schools.
Both middle schools.
We definitely want
yeah.
come back and do a song for us. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Hassan. Appreciate you, brother. We'll plug it.
Not home with mommy anymore, okay? Girl, you a grown ass woman. Let's get turned up. Nice to meet you.
Get out of the city while you still have a soul. Because if it hasn't ripped your heart out already, trust me, it will.
As you know, this week at the Hollywood Theater, they're having the Black Film Festival, and we've been blessed to have one of the co-producers and actor and writer and playwright with us, Miss Gigi Harris.
Williams.
Miss Gigi Williams. We shared the trailer. Let's talk a little bit about Angela Sacred Heart.
Okay.
And I know you have a screening tonight, right?
Yes.
So we do appreciate you stopping in and sharing a
Thanks,
little bit. Let's talk a
Tony.
little bit about Angela Hart and how it came about.
It came about a couple years ago, actually 3 years ago, actually. I had written a feature film, and I was having a hard time getting financing and finding, a distribution and stuff. So my daughter came to me and she said that why don't we take a segment out of my screenplay and make a short film out of it. And it's based on my life story. And so I wanted to tell the story to help raise awareness about violence against women.
Now, what people might not know, the young lady is your daughter,
Yes.
and she's actually playing you.
Yes, she
Okay.
is.
Okay. So, how's it going now? Now, you just left California probably a couple of months ago, and you got a reward down there too, as well.
Well, yeah, we screened it at the Hollywood Black Film Festival, and then we screened it at the San Francisco Black Film Festival too.
From my understanding, you got to receive the award for that.
I received some awards, yeah, but it was from a different film festival.
Well,
But it was for an
we're
online
gonna
film
thank you for
festival.
your work. Absolutely, absolutely. So, what you have right here that you want to share something with us?
Just to give you an update
Okay,
on
absolutely.
Ashley, because she's
How's
off.
she doing?
She's great.
Okay.
She's off at graduate school right now.
Right.
And last summer, she did some work with Anna DeVere Smith,
Okay.
and who is that program premiered last night on HBO, and it's called Notes from the Field,
Okay.
and it's kind of similar to the Hands Up program where they do the hands up, and you have the different actors playing different parts to demonstrate real life stories about police brutality against Black men and women in the
Okay.
Black community. Well, this one is a combination of lots of different characters, and Anna DeVere Smith plays each and every single character herself.
And that's
It's
Ashley.
a one-woman show.
Ashley's doing this. Okay. Now,
Ashley participated in it.
How
yes,
can people
last
see
year.
this? Is it
Well,
on
you
YouTube
should
or
be able
something?
to. You should be able to get it on HBO.
HBO. Okay. Okay.
It's called Notes from the Field.
Notes from the Field. Ashley,
Yeah.
we're proud of you. Now, with Angela Sacred Heart, how has it been perceived by women? Are they coming up hugging you and say, "Hey, we love what you're doing. It's time for it"? What's the feedback?
Well, it's been really tremendous,
Okay.
especially in light of the hashtag Me Too movement that just came out recently in Hollywood.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of different exposure about sexual assaults, and violence against women, and it's a lot more mainstream. It's more prevalent than most people realize. Statistics regarding sexual assault and violence against women is 1 out of 4.
1 out of 4.
So every woman, 1 out of 4 women in her lifetime, there's a possibility she could be sexually assaulted. That's not 1 out of 10. That's not 1 out of 20. That's 1 out of 4.
If you could say one word, because I know you got a screen play, and we really appreciate you stopping in.
No worries.
If you could put a word out to the nation and everybody viewing this about sexual assaults and how it affects a woman and the family in general.
Yeah. Well, like I said, 1 out of 4 women will be sexually assaulted in her lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason my daughter wanted me to make this film and thought it was a good idea, because everybody that she knew, friends and co-workers and stuff, talked about their experiences. And if it's 1 out of 4, they talked about how their mother, they talked about how their aunt, they talked about how their sister. So practically every family has one person in that family has been sexually assaulted. And so that's a serious issue because it emotionally damages people. It emotionally traumatizes people. It's something that some people never get over, not without years and years of therapy. And myself, I was diagnosed with PTSD. And that's not because I was sexually assaulted that one time, which was enough, but I was sexually assaulted several times. I even quit a job because I was sexually assaulted by a coworker. I mean, it's just like, it's so common. It's like what is natural is unnatural, and what's unnatural is natural. It's like the world has been turned upside down. So you don't expect every situation that you're going to be sexually assaulted or that you're in danger of being sexually assaulted. But that's what I learned about living in this world, that a woman is not safe. And that's not saying that all men are bad, and I'm not trying to bash men.
Exactly.
And that was one of the things that I think people had a hard time understanding. At the screenings, they thought that, oh, you're bashing men, and just like this Me Too movement is bashing a lot of men. That's not it. I think the reason that, we want to tell this story and share this information is because most people are not aware of it, and the fact that, our morals, where's that moral compass? When I was a young woman, I was in a relationship, and I was visiting his family at his family's house. We got into an argument, and he assaulted me right there in front of them. And nobody did anything, and it's like people just don't want to get involved. People just look the other way. And I think that, we have objectified women long enough.
Well, with this Angela Sacred Heart, we are hoping that it'll bring the light to a lot of it. People start talking about it at home, discussing it, and we'll start understanding that it's just not right. So we appreciate you opening up, doing what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, Gigi Williams, Angela Sacred Heart. Thank you.
Ever since it's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Look here. It's been too hard living, and I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long, I wish I could come out there where you are, baby. A long time coming, but I know.
Whoa, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Let's get a clap for that trailer. I'm serious. I'm joined with Miss Willie Richardson. She is the president of the Oregon Black Pioneer, and this organization is powerful. Thank you Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about this organization, how it was founded, and just, I'm still moved by that video that y'all put with that. That was, because this is a long time, program is a long time coming.
It's a very powerful video, but the exhibit also is even more powerful.
Yes.
But the organization itself has been around since 1993. So
Okay.
we're getting ready to celebrate 25 years this year.
Absolutely.
And we're the only organization in Oregon that is focused on the Oregon African American history.
Okay.
We're not looking at everybody else. We are solely focused on African Americans' arrival to the state and researching that history and putting it in a form where we can share it with the greater Oregon population. And how we do that is through exhibits.
Okay.
And fortunately, we have a wonderful relationship with the Oregon Historical Society that allow us to do large-scale exhibits. But we also do small-scale things. We also do lectures to colleges and other and high schools kind of things. We also do presentations in school-based programs with the younger kids. We work with businesses to do different types of presentations with their organization. So that's our way of beginning to share that history out there. A second component to that for us really has to do with trying to get historical organizations to weave that story throughout their local area history.
Yes, yes.
So we're not looking at that little small portion of African American history being someplace in a corner,
Yes,
never to be
okay.
seen again. To get it out there, it needs to be weaved throughout the story. And so that's how we are covering the state through local historical societies and saying, here is the truth of our area and how the African American has impacted that history. Be you talking about 5 people or 1 person,
yes.
still the presence was there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So we work hard. We work hard at trying to make sure that we tell the Oregon story, not in a particular one area.
Now, I must say, I had an opportunity, Chief Danielle Outlaw was being sworn in.
Yes.
And after the swearing in, and it was by Miss Sylvester, she was the first black woman police officer.
Mm-hmm.
She swore her in, so that was powerful. But the piece of that followed with the historical place it was at and the historical exhibit that you had there. And I walked through and I was just like blown away. So how do people get an opportunity to be a part of this and come down and sit and even provide some, we talked about some artifacts and what people might have to add to this.
It really is easier than one might think.
Okay.
And to get to the exhibit itself, one of the things that we do well is we reach out to the broader public when we're looking at history and looking at exhibits and say, this is the idea that we have. You help us bring it to life
yes.
because you're the individuals who experienced it, particularly if you've been here a long time or your family's been here a long time. You have the history, you have the artifacts, you have the pictures, you have all of that information, you know, at your fingertips because it's in your homes kind of thing. Share that with us so we can tell our story. You know, and work it that way. If anybody wants to talk with us about anything, they can reach out to us on our website, OregonBlackPioneers.org, or you can email us at info@OregonBlackPioneers.org. I will get it, and if I get it, I act on it. We reach out.
I like
so
that, yeah.
we're easy. We're not hiding. We're very, very visible with what we do and how we do it.
Now, I also want to ask, I want to give a special thanks out to Mrs. Zoe Morrison, because she helped put that video together. And She's the trooper.
Yeah.
She got right on.
She's a
Yes.
trooper. We are so blessed to have
Yes.
Zori on our board. She puts together our marketing, and she can piece that stuff together. Anytime I want something, I just say, this is what I need. If I'm not clear enough to you, here's who you call. They'll tell you what you need, and she puts it together. And that's just an example of how she puts things together so we can share the message.
She makes sense. Now, because, and I like what you said, because it's people that's making this happen.
Yes.
So people might can open up their closet and have some history right
Yes.
there. They need to give you, you said you put your hand up, so just call you, right?
Just reach on out there and trust me,
Yes.
we know what to do with it because it's
Okay.
our story.
Yes.
And I'm an advocate of us telling our own story.
Okay.
Then that way the translation is there and the accuracy of it is there as well. If anyone goes to the exhibit, and I'm really encouraging people to go to the exhibit because I can't tell you in words the impact of the exhibit.
It's powerful.
What
I can bear witness to
tell
that. I
you-
put my hand up on that. It's powerful.
It really
Yeah,
is. And
it is.
And the message, we try not to deliver messages. We just about putting out the truth. But one of the things after the exhibit was up, and my project directors said, okay, now we want to take you up to see what it looks like. And as I was walking through it, what hit me so hard was the fact, as a young person growing up in the 60s and 70s with the civil rights movement, and I look at what is currently happening today,
Yes.
we are looking in a mirror. We are looking
Right
in the mirror.
Yes,
Right at
absolutely.
everything, some of the same issues.
Yes.
You look at housing up here, you look at brutality, police brutality, you look at everything, plus a few more. We are looking in the mirror. And I say that to also say that during that time, it was the young people who were leading.
Right.
Guess who's leading now?
Young people.
Young people.
We got some young people in the audience. Let's give them a clap. Y'all hear
Young
that? Yes, young people.
It was on
Yes.
the forefront of all of what was happening.
Yes.
And so we need to kind of be very, very observant. And I say to folks very, very clearly, find a way to use your voice now.
Yes.
Because every voice counts.
Absolutely.
Every voice matters. It doesn't mean that everybody needs to be out there as the leader. It doesn't mean everybody needs to be in the crowd that's marching. But you have your smaller settings in which you're talking around your kitchen table with your neighbor.
Absolutely.
It means you can say something.
You can say, and you have something to say.
And you have something to say. See what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? So don't let your voice be silent. We have got to have more people voicing their opinion, if you will, in the circles that we're in, because we can't keep repeating history.
History, absolutely.
We cannot keep doing that.
And we was talking, you said something that I thought just stood out too. People think black folks is just in the Northeast. But you're traveling and you're finding them, they're everywhere in Oregon.
We are everywhere in Oregon and have been everywhere in Oregon
see.
since 1788. And that's a lot of things that
Say
people
what?
don't really...
Since where?
1788. So you need to understand. you need to understand from the time the first Marcus Lopez hit the water
Marcus
down
Lopez.
there
Go ahead.
Tillamook.
Yeah.
We have been all over this state. Oregon has how many counties? Tell me how many counties Oregon's got.
24.
36.
Okay.
Okay. We have been
36.
in 32 of them.
So you should have asked DeBoer Harris that one.
So all I'm saying is we need to think in terms of ourselves as have been all over the state and having made some kind of impact here.
Yes.
And not just feel like we have been in one place.
In the
And
Northeast.
generally it's Portland.
Yes.
Most folks think of Portland. And that's fine and well, but also know that outside of this place we have played key roles as well. So we've been there. Your fight is my fight in Salem. If something happens in Salem that we're involved in and make some changes, I guarantee you it migrates to the other parts and brings some change there too.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to ask you a question. Now you just saw that young man, Monty, puts a rap. If he can put a rap together about history, can we put it some kind of way into this program that you're doing?
Sure,
Okay.
get it to us.
Monty, did you hear that?
Get it to us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll get it to it. One of the things
Because
when I
that'd be
was-
his tribute, like
that
voices
would
that
be
you were
his-
saying.
And one
Yes.
of the, Howard Somebody asked us a while back whether we were going to ever do a brick and mortar museum.
Okay.
And that's so far out in the future, and I don't have anybody willing to give me $100 million right about now.
Okay.
But what we can do is do a museum online. So that's what we're working toward now, is a virtual museum online. And everything that we do will eventually go online. And this young man, if he get me a rap song or whatever else it
Yes.
is, we will find a way for it to be online, okay? So
We like that. We like that.
that's his history.
Piece history.
He's history, and that's what we need to understand. Each one of us today is history in some way.
Some
we
way.
may not be the first, but we're alive and we're well and we're doing something
Right now.
right now.
Now, there's a young lady in the office. She's a photographer, too. So she can capture some photos and get them to her. Her name is AB. She can bring those photos over to you, too. And they're all part of this DATI, Dr. Terrell Institute. She works with a lot of young people. If she wants to bring some of them young people to see you, how do we make that happen?
If she wants to take some young people to see the exhibit,
Okay.
all she needs to do is go to the Oregon Historical Society. If they are Multnomah County, and that's what they're going to be, they get all in free.
Oh, my goodness.
They do not charge
We love
Multnomah
free.
County. They do
We
not
love free.
charge Multnomah
Yeah.
County residents to go into that historical society. Okay?
Yeah.
I would make an appointment because you will have a group, and that way they'll have a docent there to walk you through that exhibit and kind of explain some things to you and what's
Absolutely.
in the cases and why they're there, and all that kind of good stuff. So, you know, it's easy.
It's
It is
easy.
not a hard thing to do. And I would really advocate that every person, not just African American, but every
Everybody,
individual who can go to that exhibit and walk out that door, take a deep breath and say, now what do I do?
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Willie Richardson, the Oregon Black Pioneer. This is the piece I call Crack the Egg Open. And that means pick up them books and read them, because we have to start cracking that egg open and reading the books. And we have an author tonight that's with us. And this lady is powerful. She has 3 novels out. We're going to talk about a couple of them. Please welcome Professor Price. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this lady has a bachelor's, master's. I mean, she's on all kind of. I just want to read a little bit of it.
Yes, okay.
She has a degree, a bachelor's in business administration. She has a master's in business administration. She's a professor taught at Concordia University at one time. Yes. She's also a member of By Chance.
If by chance, is the
If
name
by
of the
chance, yes. Now, you're a native born Chicago, Illinois?
Yes.
Okay. But you're in Portland now?
Yes.
Okay. And I can go on and on, but I just want to put that out there. The lady done some work. It takes work to be a master and a professor and teaching people. Let's talk a little bit about these books.
Okay.
Yes. By Chance.
If by chance came about because I was working with people who were parenting their grandchildren.
Okay.
And in looking at what was going on with that scenario, I started recognizing that there were over and over again the same things occurring.
Oh my goodness.
Alcoholism.
Yes.
Drug abuse. Physical abuse. All of those things were happening in the families, and they continued, prison and death, and that's why some of those parents had their grandchildren. And so I found information about generational curses, and people said, there's no such thing as that, but it is in the Bible.
Break it on down.
And it's in Deuteronomy 28.
I knew you was going to go there, drop the scripture.
The first 5 to 7 verses talk about if you choose God, you have all these blessings, and the blessings were just beautiful.
Yes.
But if you don't, the other things were the curses, and all the. And some of the books I've read were talking about how to break them, and you do that through prayer and family gatherings. That's why we don't sit around the table with each other anymore.
Stop that praying. Got to yes.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of things, and so I was the director of Bradley Engel House, which is the first shelter on the West Coast for women and children who were being abused.
Let's give you a clap.
And
Absolutely.
so I heard so many horrible stories.
Yes.
Not just the women, but their children too were being just horribly abused. And we got money through the state of Oregon to continue this. And we back then this was like in the mid 80s, we started a Women of Color caucus because what we noticed was women of color were not coming to shelter. They had no place that they were going.
Goodness, yes.
And so we formed that, and it was very, very successful because then people weren't afraid to step out.
We gotta give you a clap praise on
And,
that
I didn't start that by myself. Another worker, Midori Hamilton. Also, she was the wife of Judge Belton Hamilton. And she and I started that.
Appreciate
and
you,
it was all over the state.
Yes.
And some of the stories there are real because, it's not actually anybody's individual thing, but so many things happen to people and people hide it and they keep secrets in the family.
If by chance, how did you come up with the title with that?
I can't remember.
Okay. But if by chance, you need to crack it open like an egg and read it.
And my daughter does my book covers.
Oh, what's
She's
her name?
an artist. Her name is Alice.
Alice
Price.
Beautiful job. Beautiful job. If by chance. If by chance.
And it talks about how we need to come together and share the stories of our families.
Yes.
The good and the bad.
Good and the bad. Yeah.
And we don't.
And that was one of the reasons that people just hide things.
Yes.
And keep it suppressed, and it keeps repeating itself. Yeah.
If I could I read just the first?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Just the first little bit about this guy.
And then I want to talk about
who's so horrible in this story, and what happens to him in the very beginning. And the story goes from how did it get to that place? They found him in the basement at the church house. Somebody got him real good. He's been messing with people all his life, and up until now, nobody said anything to him. Luella let fly out of her mouth as soon as the rest of the ladies showed up. The boy's good and dead now. He can't hurt anybody else. I truly believe he killed his parents. The police found him in the woods with their hearts cut open. His folks must have wanted the old dog to do right, and he killed them because of it.
Oh my goodness.
And we've got horrible people in our society that do those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Just what happened last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yes, yes.
We have those, and we gotta share what is going on, especially to our children.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, this story, Seedlings. Remember when the 50,000 bees killed in Beaverton or something about 3 or 4 years ago? About 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
All those bees were killed. Nobody could come up with what happened to them. And I was just so interested in what happened because I know that our food is pollinated because of the bees.
Yes. I like me some honey too.
Yes, and we're losing 25% of our bees every year.
Every year, my goodness.
And that's due to the pesticides.
Yes.
They put that one pesticide in the corn when it's planted, so that the bugs won't eat the corn when it grows to fruition. But what happens is we eat the corn. And look at all these autoimmune diseases, all this stuff that's going on now. is in our food because they put it in our food. So if the bees are dying,
yes,
we're next.
we're next.
So this crazy group of people,
Okay.
they find each other and they form an underground global organization to combat the bees being killed.
Okay.
And both of my stories have time travelers in it because I write science fiction.
Okay.
And so the beekeeper finds out some stuff about his life. And he meets this lady who keeps seeds. And she keeps going back in time because our seeds are contaminated too. So she goes back in time to bring good seeds.
See, you know, I can feel your spirit and your energy. This is just not writing. This is going somewhere. It's something to this.
Yeah, I like both of my stories. You know,
It's something to this.
when something happens
Yes.
and I see it, and I can wrap a story around it.
Yes.
And that's what I did to this one. And I talk about also in there that the main time traveler
Okay.
remembered that a star exploded and the dust was going to settle in 2047. But that's the same year, according to my book, that the planet is going to die.
Oh my goodness.
And if she doesn't help the people in this global organization try to make the earth live, there won't be any people living on earth.
Now, you know, this needs to be a movie. Where is that?
To ask that woman about, because I've been looking into trying
I'm just
to learn
like,
how to
okay,
screenplay.
yes,
Write a screenplay. I want to do that, but so that's what and it all came out of my head when I recognized that the bees were disappearing.
yes, yes, yes.
And when I was in school in Arizona, I had a little tiny house because it was too expensive to live in a dorm.
Okay.
And there was grapefruit trees in my backyard.
Yeah.
Bees every place. And they never bothered me.
Right.
I wanted to get the honey, so I called Beekeepers of America.
Okay.
They said, these bees like you. And they would dip I said, I don't need a lot of honey, just a little bit.
Just a little.
And they
yeah.
took all the rest, and they took care of my bees.
Oh my goodness.
And bees are good for us. And they're good for our seeds, and they're good for our food.
Yeah.
And kids need to know this. And people need to know how we can do this.
Absolutely. I just have to ask because I know
Okay.
a lot of the viewers and audience. What made you start writing? Because this is some good stuff.
Okay, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a cartoonist.
Okay.
And I made up all kinds of little stories that people don't know about Jughead and
You got some yeses up in the gut.
way back then. Okay. And I used to look at the cartoons and everything, and I tried to write cartoons.
Yes.
And when I first came here, I was designing billboards.
Okay.
But I had an unfortunate thing happen while I was in school. My eyesight went just bonkers.
Okay.
And I was diagnosed with MS. Okay. So I could not see to do the billboards because you have to be exact. That was before computers, y'all.
Yes.
And you had to be exact.
Yes.
You know, with the measurements and everything, and I couldn't do it. And so I kept writing in a journal of how I was feeling about all this stuff.
Yes.
And I had a baby girl, little girl, and my other daughter was 5, and my husband had to take her to a babysitter because I couldn't see her to take care of her.
Yes.
So I started just putting things down, and when I got better and started moving around again, I started reading and I said, this is talking about escape, going into different times. And that's what that is.
Well, we're glad that you did what you did. And speaking about, you said your daughter?
Yeah.
We have your grandson here.
Yes,
I'd like him to come on up. Can you come on up, young man? Come on, come on up. Come on up.
This is my only grandchild.
Come on up. Can I get a mic? Can I get a mic? You know me.
Okay.
Hold on, I want you to say a few words. Bless your heart, bless your heart, but bless your heart. Yes, see, and that's the thing about TV. We can edit this out.
We're writing a book together.
Come on, turn right.
He and I, we're gonna write a book together.
You write. Tell the people who you are, your name.
My name is Anara Jackson.
How's that sound check? Is that good? Okay. And you writing a book?
Yeah.
How does that feel to be writing a book with your grandmother?
Good.
Good, good. Talk to your young people out there in the audience, some of your friends that's in the audience that's going to be watching you on TV. Tell them something good.
How you help grandma plant stuff.
There you go.
I like to help my grandma plant. And
what you be planting? What you be planting?
I plant like tomatoes.
Oh my goodness. I like me some tomatoes.
Plant vegetables.
Oh my.
Bell peppers. And other kind of peppers.
And other kinds of peppers.
And pumpkins.
And pumpkins.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How does that feel to be just planting? Because you know pretty soon it's gonna grow up and you're gonna be able to grab them tomatoes.
I like it because I like to know that I planted something.
Oh my goodness. You're gonna be healthy too, huh?
Mhm.
You like writing?
Yeah.
How did it feel when you start writing that, putting them thoughts down?
It feels good because then I get to express what I like to write. Like I get to write down all my thoughts and stuff.
Did you hear that? This young man said he likes to express himself and write his thoughts down. We really appreciate you coming up and sharing a little few words with us. Would you come back sometime when you write this book?
Yeah.
Just give us a nice little interview.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. You want to say a few words to your friends out there? Tell them they should have been here.
You can say that. You should have come.
They should have been here.
Thank you. Absolutely appreciate you, man. Let me shake your hand. I appreciate you, man. Absolutely. Thank you. Professor Price. Author, Professor Price. It's a pleasure.
My next book will be out in August.
Okay. You want to go next book out? What's the name of it?
I haven't gotten the name yet. I don't get the name until I finish the book.
Yes. She got one coming out.
In August.
In August. Professor Price. Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a special, special piece. Each month we are blessed with Deborah Harris. She comes in, she has a segment called Beneath the Rose.
Yes.
But she comes and tells us a little about voting and how important it is. I just let you go ahead and do what you do.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Well, thank
Welcome.
you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, what I want to focus on today is the upcoming primary election. Right now it's 11 weeks and 2 days away from today. And prior to the election, what we need to do is remind you to review the candidates, what they stand for, and do your own assessment of who they really are, not what they tell you who they are, but assess who they really are. And are you and the community part of their equation? So you don't want to just listen to the forums and listen to what they say. You want to do your own, what we call a background check.
Right.
Check out
what they're talking about.
What they're talking about. Which candidate has your best interest in mind? Now, we definitely want to put someone in office who exemplifies high standards of ethics and respect for the people they serve, but then the vote is up to you. No one can tell you who to vote for. You make that decision. If you're interested in filing for an office, the deadline is Tuesday, March the 6th, if you are interested in filing for either one of those positions. Now, I want to give you an update of candidate filings. It's up to you to decide who deserves your vote. Your vote is so important.
Absolutely.
So you determine who deserves your valuable vote. But the most important thing is to vote. Voting makes a world of difference.
Absolutely, 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 yes.
And I'll have to write these down. I can't remember them all. Brief memos of who's running for what positions. For the city of Portland, we have the commissioner #2 position. There's Nick Fish, Julie McGraw, Nicholas Sutton, and Philip Wolf. For Commissioner number 3, we have Joanne Hardesty, Felicia Williams, Andrea Valderrama, Loretta Smith, and Stuart Emmons. So I'm assuming they listed these in the order that they filed, because they're not in alphabetical order. And I didn't list them in this order. The auditor, Mary Hull Caballera. For Multnomah County Chair, there are 2, Chuck Crockett and Deborah Kafuri. Multnomah County Commissioner, District 2, there's Maria Garcia, Sushila Jayapal, Bruce Broussard, and Sharon Maxwell. Multnomah County City Auditor, there's Jennifer McGurk, Mark Ulanowitz, and Scott Learn. For Multnomah County Sheriff, there's Mike Reese. So if someone wants to compete, I'll file for that also. You know, challenge.
Challenge, yes.
There's Metro Council President Lynn Peterson. Only one person running for that position. Then for Metro Councilor District number 1, there's Shirley Craddock, Michael Langley. Metro Councilor District number 2, Carol Pauley, Joe Buck, Betty Dominguez, and Christine Lewis. Metro Councilor District number 4, Dana Carterson and Juan Gonzalez.
Now, is this listed anywhere? So
Yes,
okay.
it's listed on Multnomah County, and
Okay.
it's also listed. You can go to the website and Google candidates, filing candidates for 2018 election.
Yeah, you know, I get a lot of emails back, and people go to the website, and they are just so happy about what you're doing.
Yes.
Because you bring it to them, you make it, and when they look at it and they hear it, it touches them.
Yes.
And we're just so thankful that you come each month and do this for us.
Yes.
And you let people know how important it is to vote. And you said the voting is May
15th.
And you said we have how many? You broke it down to the last
11 weeks and 2 days. Yes.
People, please get out and vote. She does so much for us. This lady goes out and does this research. And can they get in touch with you if they got any questions or any information?
Yes, they can at borabora@aol.com. That's BORAH@AOL.com. Bora Bora, like the island.
Beneath the road. We appreciate you so
Thank
much.
you.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Right now, we're going to have a special song to take us out. We got Elijah and Derek and Dufo.
With Dufo, and this is something called Soiled and Dirty. Seems oh so far away of what we see today, but in reality we live it as one. Instead of putting down the fear, most of y'all thinking how to get out of here. Only when the crowd is clear will you see the one who has the courage to stand alone when no one can. You ride in front and find out the one who faking John Wayne. With all this thinking, you figure we home and free. I can't recall any time we was doing that. We wouldn't go for broke for who? We die young and old and gone. My God, we've been doing it wrong so long today, running in the day, going on and on, on and on, on and on till we fall gone, on and on, girl, off to the on and on. Someone be coming with hits, y'all gon' bleed today. The whip snap from the older days. Now singing the blues, the sparks still my last stored and cued. Ignored and viewed as a threat or two. Now they tell me if I crave I'm free, I'm sick.
But it's cool if I slang bang a trick. Ain't that sick? Ain't just sick? Don't that cost you more? Or is misery a commodity on Wall Street's floor? Prison industry complexion continues to land in my section. And here we go. Hee-ho, these guys don't see the same by the river. Sees my people, but we shook that bill start to hit me. Who's out to get me to buying, slowly dying? Ain't no riot, it's just quiet till my soul is cold. Are we free down here, deep inside this hole? Does the sun still shine in my mind when my mind is dirty? It's dirty. It's dirty, and it's stinking on me like it's It's dirty, it's dirty, it's dirty. It's got me looking around like it's